What's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I posted an album review of Telltale's newest record, Timeless Youth. I know that this is completely different from what I'm going to be reviewing in about a few minutes, but definitely check that out if you're interested in that. Also be doing Bill Murray's newest record, Wet Milk, which is more like indie alternative stuff, and then I'll also be doing After the Burial's Evergreen, so definitely be on the lookout for all of those. I'll try to get them out in a timely manner, but definitely be on the lookout for them regardless. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Ansible's newest record, Forever. So I've been a fan and a friend of the band for a little bit of time now. They were like within the first year of me starting Audio Addiction. I think I found out about them through Reddit or something like that. I can't remember the whole anthology about the Ansible, but they recently signed with Stay Sick Records, and they'll be putting out this record, Forever, this Friday, April 26th. So you definitely should keep your ears peeled for it. One of those bands that I've always been on the lookout for. They put out a fantastic EP called Draw Closer. If you haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend doing so. And they're just that band that's been on my radar for a very long time. They're a solid band from Texas, and if you do live in Texas, definitely go check them out. They'll be playing South by So What this year, which is awesome, so definitely keep your ears peeled for that. But I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Cruel World. It has this cool sort of soft, ambient, melodic opening with Daryl's vocals kind of highlighting their more post-rock, kind of post-metal vibes of their song. I also like that, the song kind of gets a little bit heavier and picks up towards the middle slash, like the last minute of the song. I think it's a good opener, and I feel like it melds a good, both, their heavy style of music as well as just kind of the melodic nature of what they do as well. And I think there's a nice kind of counterbalance of both of those things, despite it being maybe around the 2.5 minute mark. I think it's a really awesome opener. So we're going to move into track number 2, which is Transmutation Fade. This one's one of my favorites. I love the intro of this song. It's this really kind of sick building at the beginning of the song. It really kind of builds and kind of builds off of some of the concepts that were laid down in Cruel World, the song that preceded it. Which is definitely awesome. For those who are familiar with the Ansible or just have listened to their music in general, you should definitely feel right at home with this song. It is very much up their alley. It kind of, keeps in terms with Draw Closer, but I feel like this record kind of explores more of what they do and, the progressive nature of what's going on in the band. I love the cut of the screams. I think Daryl has a very, interesting scream. It's more on that high register. A lot of it, I would assume, is more on that Fry scream. And I think it is just juxtaposed with his cleans that offer a really nice balance to the song as well. You can hear influences of bands like The Contortionist, Invade Anime, Sky Eats Airplane. You can kind of hear those sorts of vibes more on that sort of melodic nature. Northlane is another one that I can think of. And for being a 5-minute track, I feel like it really carries its weight very well. There's 2 tracks that I feel like actually are long. This one and the last one, Canyon of Stars, and I think that they hold their time very well. I feel like a lot of the bands that I listen to that do more longer tracks, especially more progressive bands, fall into this sort of crux, but they tend to be a little bit long. They overstay their welcome, and this one just really caught my interest from start to finish. And despite it being heavy, it also has a lot of moments of melodicness that I think really kind of make it interesting and makes me come back and listen to it over and over again, which is definitely great. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Memoires de la Academie Royale, Sweet Dreams. I feel like they just labeled this song to just mess me up. I don't like that, Daryl. That hurts my feelings, but we're gonna move past it, and we're gonna talk about this song, which is one of my favorites as well. And I dig the sort of more ambience and ethereal qualities of this track. It makes the song really atmospheric, and I feel like it is the driving force of this track. The chorus is absolutely phenomenal. It's probably one of my favorite choruses, excluding maybe Invade the Room. It just is so well arranged. It's so concocted in a beautiful way. And despite it being kind of more of a slower song, I think it makes up for it in its just subtle nature. The instrumentation, more specifically the drumming, is just super underrated. Just the fills, the way that the guitar is like kind of arranged in this song, and the bass playing is just at more of the forefront. And I think the instrumentation speaks a ton of volumes in this track, no pun intended. But more so even so than Daryl. I think he does a fantastic job singing on this track, but I think every time that I come back to this one, I think instrumentation wise, it is just so unique. It's so interesting, and it is unlike, you know, a lot, if not all of the tracks off the record so far. And to, you know, go further on into the record, and it is one of those tracks I feel like is a sleeper track. It is one of those ones that maybe initially I didn't get right away, but as I kept listening to the record over and over and over again. It really kind of dragged me in and really pulled me in, and I really, really dug this one because it stuck out to me. So we're going to move into track number 4, which is Maestranza, Lost. Again, probably butchered that, but again, I'm always used to that already. But anyway, getting back to this song, it is the most recent single that they had released. And this one, if you've just been missing that sort of heavy, genty sort of feeling, this one brings the heat for sure. In certain aspects, it reminds me a lot of Silent Planet, which is one of my favorite bands. And I love that it plays off more of that sort of progressive nature of metalcore, and that breakdown at 2 minutes and 5 seconds to 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Woo! It is a powerful one. Love it. Definitely one of those ones that I'm glad that they released, because I think it is a great front runner track off the record. So we're going to move into track number 5, which is Plus Choke Ultra. This is the other single that they had released as well, and this one is a beefy boy. The transition between kind of the brutal heaviness of this track compared to sort of more of the melodic nature of the song, I kind of compare it a lot to Transmutation, Fade. Those two kind of, you know, counterbalance each other in that way of having, you know, a heavy moment filled with a melodic chorus or like verse bridge sort of part, and then it goes back to the heavy sort of stuff. One of the things that really sparked my interest in this track is that Daryl kind of throws some spoken word parts or spoken lyrics underneath the screams throughout the verses, and I feel like it's just that little subtle touch that really makes it interesting. It was one of those things that upon first listen I didn't really realize, but as I went and listened to it more in depthly, it was something that I feel like a lot of singers slash screamers don't really do too much, and just the inclusion of it made it just a unique aspect to the song that I felt like would have gone unnoticed to maybe somebody who doesn't have that keen of an ear. But it was really interesting. Again, I think it was just something that most people weren't expecting, but I think it really works with this sort of vibe of the track. So we're moving to track number 6, which is Invade the Room. This one features Charlie of Vexes, another fantastic band. Shout outs to them. But this one is the first single that they released. It's one of my favorites, and it still happens to be one of my favorites, if not probably my favorite off the entire record. It just has this amazing groove to it. Is easily one of the catchiest songs on the record by a landslide, without a doubt. And I like that Daryl kind of channels his sort of inner R&B soul artist. It really, you can really speak volumes in terms of that, and just the way that he does these like beautifully intricate runs, the sort of lower register tonality to his voice. I think he really brings out a lot of beautiful qualities in the song. The drumming is another fantastic element to the track. I think much like in Memoires, These two tracks, drumming wise, are just like primo stuff. I love it. Great work. And I think Charlie comes in at around the 2 minutes and 9 second mark to around the 2 minutes and 52 second mark on the record. I think he does both the cleans and the screams. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe it to be. And it's awesome. I think it is a really solid, really thought out, really well executed guest feature, and I think that just further states how much I love this record and just this track in general. Just because it's just so thought out, and the way that they are able to intricate kind of the clean vocals, the screaming, Daryl's parts, the sort of more laid back kind of vibey sort of track into this record and really make it work and just kind of fit with the sort of heavier stuff. Really works out, and again, one of the front runner tracks in my opinion. So we're gonna move into track number 7, which is Red Line. And the one thing that I have about this track, I think it is a solid track out the gate, but for being a track that is literally named Red Line, I thought it was going to be a little bit more in your face. I thought it was going to have a little bit more energy to it. It does start off strong, but I feel like it becomes a little bit more melodic towards the end. And I would have loved for it to kind of take more of the direction of like Plush Choke or Maestranza. I feel like those two really kind of nailed that sort of heavy aspect of the band and the songs. And I think that it was executed in a really unique way. And I think this one, if it was just kind of like a brutal, heavy track, kind of to, kind of counterbalance Invade the Room, I think it would have been a home run without a doubt. I still think it's a solid track nonetheless, but I think they could have definitely gone a little bit heavier on this one to just kind of solidify it for me. So we're going to move into the last track. Track number 8, which is Canyon of Stars. This one's one of my favorites, and for being a track that is about 7.5+ minutes long, I really feel like they do a good job kind of, really kind of getting you engaged at the beginning and really kind of, helping you or guiding you through this song as it goes on. I really like that it combines a lot of aspects of this entire record. It has some beautiful melodic moments, more sorts towards the end and like the last ending portion of the song and middle portion of the song. And then it has some heavier moments more towards the beginning and kind of like latter half middle portion of the song. It is a very long song, so forgive me if I can't remember every kind of timestamp. But it's really balanced out. I think there, like I said, there's really heavy moments, but there's also some beautiful melodic passages, and I think that it's just kind of further stated in this song and just kind of wraps up the record in that way of having both that sort of heaviness but also the melodicness of what they do. And I think Daryl kind of rides that fine line of having some really gnarly screams but also having some really beautiful clean vocals to kind of balance and back it up. So fantastic track to end with, one of my favorites as well, despite it being more, along the longer side of the record. I think they finished it out on a strong note. So some pros and cons that I have: vocally, I think it is very diverse. I think not only that Daryl handles the screams but also handles the cleans and just does it in a unique way that I haven't heard from a band in a very long time. And it's just got this memorability to it, and just the way that he kind of has this sort of warmness to his vocals that a lot of bands strive to have. And so I like that is just kind of further stated and hammered home. It really brings a lot of these tracks to life and together. Instrumentally is heavy but also beautifully melodic and ambient, and just overall I think it's very unique. It obviously it borrows a lot from bands that have a lot of genty sounds like Northlane, Invade, Sky Eats Airplane, but it also borrows a lot from bands like I mentioned in our interview, Good Tiger. Obviously Elliot was also in Sky Eats Airplane, but it borrows from that sort of side of stuff. Periphery as well. And it kind of has that sort of soul and R&B flair to it, whether he realizes it or not. I think it is really awesome. And I love this kind of the cross pollination of that. The only con that I would really like to see in a future record would be more scream diversity. I think that it just kind of feels one noted. He just has this really high pitched scream, and while it is very well mixed with kind of his lower singing register and kind of that more like soulful vibe, I'd love to hear a little bit more kind of lows or just some mid-range. I think that that would be really awesome, and I think they would really be able to expand upon that as well. But overall, again, really solid work from these guys. Probably one of my top records of this year without a doubt. And so my overall rating for the Ansibles Forever, I'm going to be giving it a 9.7 out of 10. Definitely give this one a listen. Probably one of the more unique records of this year, especially in terms of metalcore stuff. You won't find another band similar to this, but definitely give them a listen. I have loved all the singles that they have posted recently, and I am so excited for all of you to check out the record when it comes out this Friday. And when it does, please comment. Let me know what you think about the record. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'd love for you to weigh in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share it. It goes a long way. Thanks, of course, to Stay Sick, as well as the Ansible for sharing this one with me. Always appreciative, and got to show that love to everybody that I've worked with so far. So definitely give this one a listen. Links in the description to find out about the Ansible. Check out our interview that we did a few weeks back. It was fantastic. Always love talking to Daryl. And my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.